All this action from the SBK series is proudly brought to you by NGK Spark Plugs, Bridgestone Tires, and Rapid Bike Tuning. Welcome to the Friendly City. It's a little bit windy out here today for the final round of the NGK SBK series, combining the Bridgestone Championship as well. No spectators allowed, which means we're going to be entertaining you here on Ignition, and also had a great outing with all of the live streaming that took place on the day. Lights by Linear's Brett Roberts will be looking to try and take on the newly crowned 600cc champion Ricardo Otto at his home circuit. That's going to be interesting to watch. But more importantly, who is going to have what it takes to beat Clint Seller and possibly spoil his day of taking the 7th South African Superbike Championship and putting it into his back pocket. He's fired up today, there's no doubt about it. Let's see whether or not he's going to have any competition. His biggest competition will come from David McFadden. McFlash has got a chance, but he's got to win both races and have DNFs for both races for Clint Seller. And look out for Garrick Flock, who's on a big high from this season. Let's catch up with a new man this season, Labavala Nsana.
How's it, guys? It's been fun. I'm glad that I made it this time. We had difficulties, but for the last session of practice, we found something. We went a bit quicker, and this morning the feeling was a bit better as well. But unfortunately, we didn't do as we expected, but we're hoping for a better one.
Get those Bridgestone tires ready to go now. Let's put those NGK spark plugs into the motorcycles and get ready to go for race number 1. Coming to the grid, we're going to follow Ricardo Otto around as he makes his way down onto that grid. Yesterday was actually 3rd quickest overall and would have put himself on the front row had he been on 1000cc. Hopefully he'll be on one next year. He'll be pushed hard by Dino Oyotso, who will also be joining in the 600cc class. But speaking of Team King Price, let's catch up with Clint Seller on the grid with Marius Roberts.
Sitting on the pony, 7th title in your sights, Clinton Seller, what a legend. Good to be racing, eh?
Yeah, you know, good to be racing. Definitely stressful to be racing. But yeah, you know, so thankful that we're out here today, and weather looks cool. Yeah, we've got a job to do, and we're just going to have to go and do that, yeah.
No, you don't have to do much. You've just got to stay on the bike. But that's not the Clinton Seller way. You like to do things in style and win. Are you thinking championship, or are you thinking to go and put a good show together?
No, I'm thinking championship. Yeah, that's I'm here for one reason and one reason only, and that's that number 1 stripe on the front. And yeah, you know, we'll just make sure that by the end of the day, that's what we can do.
Just give me some information out of interest. What sort of speeds do you run through Hanger? I mean, that's a serious commitment corner.
I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I know we're doing sort of about 280 or so down the front straight. So yeah, I'm not sure where we are at Hanger, but it feels fast.
Amazing stuff. Join us after the break for race 1 action here from Aldo Scribante. McFlash on pole. He's going to be a difficult man to beat. He is certainly looking for a chance to take double victories and the last bit of blood for 2020. But Clint Seller is concentrating on the championship. A 2nd place behind McFlash will do it in this first heat. That's all he needs to do. Alongside them, Garrick Flock, the thorn in the side for both of these riders all season long. It's eyes down, looking up to see those red lights go off, and it's a great start from McFlash. He heads down towards turn 1, but Seller looks like he might have got a good start as well. A little bit of a wheelie there from Seller as he changes to 3rd gear. That's going to allow Flock to have a go at him, and he tucks in right behind Seller as they go into turn 1. Iotso on the back end of Otto as they go into turn 1 as well in the 600cc class. Good start there from Otto. He leads things out. Oh, a little sit up there for Nsana as he comes into turn 1 with Sifiso Temba right on his tail. So the 3rd of those King Price Extreme bikes, the Wakanya Racing Man, is in the house, and I am 63 looking for a chance to impress here in Bridgestone Championship. As they go through the first flick over to the right-hand side and up, and what an incredible corner to do on a motorcycle. Up through there and into the hairpin now. Late braking from, oh, what a move. Garrick Flock diving on the inside. Seller saw him coming, gave him a little bit of room. Doesn't want to go down in lap number 1. Does not want to go down at all today. And look who's right on his tail. That is an incredible start coming out of Ricardo Otto. But where is Dino? Bambino's gone missing. He's made a mistake somewhere on track and it's fallen back by the wayside and out of contention for the top 4 honours here, which Ricardo Otto's looking to have a go at. He could possibly even get a 3rd overall here if he can find a way through on the R1s, but the little bit of extra power now from the 1000s will allow him to get away. There's Bambino, ahead now, Brett Roberts, 3rd of the 600cc riders as we go on board here with Nsana. Lubobala looking very good at this point in time. He's just ahead of his arch rival and good friend, Sifiso Temba. As I mentioned, the 3rd of those King Price Extreme bikes now having a super run down here in PE. Definitely one of the best outings we've seen from him. Sella now trying to close down and return the favour and looking for a way through Hanger Sweep. And he comes a great drive out of Hanger up to the line and into the hairpin. Oh, the braking marker there, very late from Ricardo Otto to stay with Sella. But Sella's comfortable to hang behind Garrick Flock. He can see David McFadden getting away, and in fact, the way McFadden is riding, a 101 from a standing start is an impressive ride. Looks like he might get down into the 60-second bracket now on the second time of asking. As they come round and out of that other tyre manufacturer's corner, the Bridgestone tyre is starting to work well as they come through to finish another lap. It's Sella now who's got good drive. Watch for the overtaking and a little bit of slipstream effect there from Sella as they go down towards turn 1. McFadden getting away. Sella doesn't have to worry about McFadden as long as he's second place. That's all he's got to worry about for this first heat. If he finishes up in second place for the first heat, it'll be done and dusted. The championship will be his 7 titles in a South African championship. That is incredible. The Magnificent 7 is what he's looking for today. But he's got big problems. That DCCS machine all over the back of him. And you can see Wayne Shelley has prepped that bike to within an inch of its life as it goes through Hanger Sweep to try and close down on the potential new king. So we've got out front RPM and Stunt SA bike doing a super job with McFadden on board. McFlash leading the way. It's Evil Knievel in second place. And the King Price Extreme team will be happy so far with their man's performance. Ricardo Otto wrapping up the championship for the 600cc's already at Red Star. Doesn't really have to worry too much about any competition. And in fact, he's not worried about it at all because he's fighting with the thousands. Dino Bambino has not got an answer to him this time out on the second of those King Price Extreme Yamahas, the R6 version. And you can see him just in the background coming out of the final corner. We're on board with Otto, looking so far back to Dino Bambino. And in fact, even further back from that, it's Brett Roberts. So the top 3 in the 600cc's, big gap between them. A little bit of a margin now that's opened up between the 2 R1s and that R6, but you can see with the way that the circuit works in Aldo Scribante, Ricardo Otto is able to close back down because of the flick-flack and the internal section of the circuit. There's a lot of corners and a lot of twisty bits that they've got to deal with, and that's where the 600 holds its own. A couple of seasons ago, in fact, Clint Sella won out a big battle with Nick Kershaw on a 600cc to take the Mr. Motorcycle competition here at Aldo Scribante and win himself 10,000 Rand, courtesy of one of the previous sponsors involved in South African Superbike racing. Around the outside, oh, big move. Oh, I was just going to say that. Garrick Flock with a big move, but Brett Roberts with an even bigger one. He walks away gingerly from that Lights by Linear bike, but you can see he's out of this one and will probably have an issue. I don't think they're going to get that bike sorted out. I saw Sifiso Temba putting a bit of pressure onto Nsana as they went past the stricken Lights by Linear man, Brett Roberts. Bambino still in second place. There's the replay. This is on board with Roberts as he comes into the very fast Hanger Sweep. Front end goes. It was a little bit of a knock on the front end. I think he just caught that bump and unfortunately went down. So the NGK replay showing us exactly what went wrong there for Brett Roberts. And unfortunately, he is now out. Sella now controlling things for second place. Into the back markers, and Ian Thomas is the first of those back markers to be caught and passed by David McFadden on his way to the line. McFlash doing a super job, and in fact has gone almost all 9 of the laps, other than the first lap, in the 60-second bracket. That's an incredible ride coming out of David McFadden. Ian Thomas with the problem. Thomas runs wide. Oh man, he goes off at the hairpin. He's run out of brakes there by the looks of things and gone down. Ian Thomas has gone down in the late part of this race. That's a big, big loss there. The ZX-10 just running out of brakes as he went up towards the hairpin, and he had to sit it up. There you go. The leftover bits and pieces there of Ian Thomas's bike. Hopefully he's okay. He must have walked away from that motorcycle, but he's going to be sore. That is for sure. And if you run out of brakes at the hairpin, you're probably coming into the hairpin at over 200 k's an hour before you climb on the anchors. So Thomas very lucky to survive that one and walk away. But I think he won't be back either for race number 2. Couple of laps to go now for these guys, and that's the gap between 2, 3, and 4 on track. A bit of a look over the shoulder there for Otto as he looks into the back of Dino Bambino's visor. But Dino has not got an answer here. Iotso has tried hard. It's very difficult to match the pace that Ricardo Otto has found this weekend. As I said, he got onto the 3rd position on the grid and potentially a man who would have been on pole on the front row. There you can see just behind the tyres there, Ian Thomas. He's lost a visor. That means he's gone down face first, which is not good. And hopefully he's okay. Looks like he is. Medical team will be on standby there to sort him out as soon as they can. Sifiso Temba trying to close down on Nsana now. Lobobalo having a fantastic run here, that is for sure. As you can see, McFlash closing on the two of them. Their little fight is not done yet. Neither is Dino's. He's got a little bit of a whiff there of Otto. Otto slowed down dramatically though. You can see he's not running the full pace he was earlier on. So has Sella. Sella controlling things now from second place. He's got a big margin now over the third place rider there. Garrick Flock also doesn't seem to have an answer, but that's exactly what Sella has to do. Just open up a margin, controlling things. And in fact, if I look at the way that Garrick Flock is going, he could be caught in past here by Ricardo Otto and by Dino Iotso. I don't know if there's a bit of an issue there possibly on Garrick Flock's bike. We'll have to keep an eye on that one as they come across the line and complete what is now the final, going to start the final lap. Coming into the right-hander at turn 1. We go on board with McFlash now as he comes up towards the hairpin. Look at that. Cutting through on Sifiso Temba and now trying to find a way through on Nsana. Nsana in the hairpin. He'll take his time to find through. You're probably going to have a little bit extra squirt and get past him relatively unscathed. Well, he doesn't really have to. He's now sitting the meat in the sandwich between the brothers battling out there at this point in time. Oh, a little sit up there for Nsana, so you can see why McFlash is taking it a bit more gingerly. A little bit extra squirt, late on the brakes in the final corner, and there you have it. McFlash is through. RPM Center and Stunt SA Lights by Linear Rider coming to the line. And first victory on the day going to David McFlash McFadden. He takes it comfortably over those two riders who've now been lapped by him. Second place is going to be Clint Sella. That means the championship is done and dusted. Your new South African Superbike champion, Clint Evil Knievel Sella, the 7th time of asking, and he's taken it. Incredible run there as well from Garrick Flock, who just manages to stay ahead of Otto, and then Dino Iotso comes through for second place in the 600s. You can see an ecstatic man there. He'd be celebrating with the crowds if there were any here. He's now just waving to the camera crew and, of course, to the marshals to say, that's it, done for 2020. What a ride there from Clint Sella. First man to congratulate him will be Garrick Flock, who finished up in third place. The 1000cc class, it was McFadden, Sella and Flock. In the 600s, it was Otto and Iotso. And in the SBKs for Bridgestone, Nsana taking the first win ahead of Sifiso Temba. Marius is down in pit lane, catching up with the riders.
Ricardo, great to chat to you. Wrapped up the championship 600cc last time around at Red Star Raceway. Good season, even though it's been a difficult one, eh?
Yeah, this is an amazing season. I came so confident into this race, and yeah, in the first race, now I knew I had to make a gap and just keep that gap the whole time. So in about the 4th, 5th lap, I just stayed, I kept my pace, and yeah, took the victory.
But it's awesome. I mean, pressure is off for you, having wrapped up the championship. Does that change how you approach a race, home race as well?
Yeah, definitely. When I came into this race, I told myself, now I've got nothing to lose, so I can just spin it. So yeah, I'm excited for race 2.
7 titles. That is just, yeah, have a moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, it's unbelievable. And, you know, it's my own team, and I've won the championship every year with my own team. So it's just been like, you know, my partners, King Price, Liqui Moly, Dragon Energy, Fire It Up, Rapid. It's just everyone that the day I decided, you know what, I'm not going to retire because I want to keep racing. And at that time I had 5 championships. And now, you know, got a team, got an awesome bunch of guys. I mean, my bike was so fast there that I didn't have to really try hard in the corners. I could just pass Garrick down the straight. And it's weird because my exhaust pipe came loose. I think we blew a lug nut out of the exhaust pipe on the warm-up lap. So I was like, oh, I'm going to be down on power. Never mind. Steve Cannon built me such a weapon for the year that I just passed Garrick down the straight anyway. So, yeah, unbelievable. Thank you to my wife. Thank you to my colleagues for making shirts for me. And number 7. Let's see how many more we can wrap up.
Welcome back to action from the SA SBK series here in Port Elizabeth. Aldo, Scribante is the circuit. We're in South Africa on the East Coast, and what an incredible start to the day's racing for the two-wheelers. We saw the SA SBK champion crown. There he is, Clint Sella, and the whole King Price Extreme team. NGK are in the house and are our official sponsors. Bridgestone are the tyres of choice, and we're looking forward to race number 2 now. Some guys will be back on the grid, and some guys will be looking to try and take victories for the final part of 2020. There's a couple of guys, unfortunately, haven't made it back out. One of them is Brett Roberts. And if you need to find yourself a slightly used 600, have a chat to Wayne Roberts from Lights by Linear. There you can see the remnants of what was an incredible race bike. We look forward to seeing him back on the grid in 2021. There's no doubt he is a big contender in the 600cc class. A sad day when we lost Russell Wood's dad, Malcolm Wood, a legend gone but never forgotten. Time to go racing though. David McFadden will be on pole yet again. Alongside him, the newly crowned champion and Garrick Flock. Let's see who's going to have what it takes now for the final victory of 2021. Will it be Sella looking for the swan song to go out with that final victory? It looks like he's fired up enough, that's for sure, as he heads down towards turn 1. A great start from Sella. Can he outgun McFlash for the first time this weekend? No. David McFadden has got it all right, and what a start there from Garrick Flock. Around the outside, tucking in as we go on board here with Otto. Watching behind as Insana and Safisa Temba going side by side. Dino Bambino was actually ahead of Otto. I didn't see that. Dino Bambino Yotso is just squeezing out Ricardo Otto into turn 1, but he returns the favor as they get into the Schaeffler S's. Now heading through the little left-hand flick, up onto the right-hander, into hanger sweep. Fastest corner of the circuit, that's for sure, at over 200 k's an hour. Oh, a little sit up there from Garrick Flock. A little bit of an issue there. I mentioned that earlier on the day. Definitely watch out there. I'm not quite sure if that 8-year-old R1 is firing like it used to. As they come down into Chevy sweep, you can see just how tight it is between the two 600s. Much better this time from Iotso. He's staying with Otto. He's got about 4 or 5 bike lengths to make up, but he's not as far back as what he was in race number 1. Oh, there's a move from Sella. Sella dives up the inside of McFadden and takes the lead for the first time in race anger. Oh, what a little moment there for Sella. How was that? The back end stepped out there and McFadden didn't even roll off. He just kept it buried. Unbelievable stuff there from Sella as they came into the final corner, but a big moment for him as well. As the back end stepped out slightly, he just kept it buried, and so did McFadden. The two of them realizing that those motorcycles will sort themselves out there with all the electronics. And now as they come into the S's, it's Garrick Flock who's joined the party. 3 R1s fighting for the final bit of 2021 season. Behind them, Otto. Then it's Bambino. Yotso closing down on the back end of Otto. He's not letting him get away this time. Coming up under braking. Now it's time for McFlash to try and get away to the front end. He went almost lap for lap, second lap to 10th lap in race number 1 in the 60-second bracket. What a masterclass there from this man that we're on board with, looking back at Garrick Flock through the Chevy sweep. Flock now trying to come through and looking for a way through. Can he find it? No, he's not good enough on the brakes. You can see there was a big move there from Garrick Flock to try and find a way past David McFadden, but he wasn't able to make it stick going into the final corner. They come across the line. A great run here from those two. Now getting away from the two 600cc riders. Coming down onto the main straight, and there's a move from McFlash. He's late on the brakes, but Sella matches him into turn 1. Very good riding from Kinsella. He definitely wants his final victory. There's a bike down the road. That's Insana. Lubabala Insana's gone down. Oh, what a pity. That's coming out of Chevy sweep by the looks of things. Yes, he's gone and lost it coming out of Chevy. That would have been right in front of Safisa Temba. So Safisa Temba very lucky to avoid his good friend going down. There's David McFadden's point of view coming up on the inside of Sella. He's got Garrick Flock on the back of him looking for a way past. Look how tight it is. How would you like to be in this situation? Fighting with the newly crowned champion and arguably the most competitive and combatant rider of the season, Garrick Flock, right on your tail. They come up towards the final corner one more time. Flock looking for a way past. McFadden looking to dive on the inside. He realizes that Garrick Flock is not a man he wants to be fighting with. He'd prefer to be out front and getting away from Kinsella and from Flock as they come across to complete another lap. Great run here from these guys. Oh, problems! Oh, that was huge. A massive blowout there from Garrick Flock. Yes, the fireball is headed down towards the end of the pit straight. And that's it. Garrick Flock climbs off that motorcycle. That's probably about 80 k's an hour. And he starts running alongside the bike as it bursts into flames. Wow. That was certainly unexpected. Garrick Flock managed to get off the motorcycle, but that is 8-year-old Yamaha R1 in a ball of flames. Definitely not what he wanted, that is for sure. Marshall's running to try and get the fire out. Great response there from the Marshall, who's probably about 300, 400 meters back. He just did a little bit of a Carl Lewis to get up there. A change up for the front here, possibly? No, not just yet. Garrick Flock just caused some issues that we had to watch out for. But David McFadden now with yellow flags into the Chevy sweep. Can't overtake there because Insana's down here on where our camera position is. But Flock has caused some big issues. I wonder if there's going to be a need for a stopping of the race there with that ball of flame on the sideline. We'll wait and see. There comes McFadden though, looking for a way past on Sella. Bike now out and the flame has been extinguished fortunately, but big smoke across the circuit which the riders will be aware of. This is the first time that those two are going to see that motorcycle on the sideline and realize that it's probably going to be an issue. And there you go, capitalizing on that and using it to his advantage, David McFadden gets through. So McFadden now leads out on that RPM Center and Stunt SA R1 as he tries to now take the final bit of blood for 2020. He's ahead of Sella. Sella will probably relax now and go, no, you know what, I've got no one to fight with. I've taken the championship. There's no need to throw the bike down the road. Let's take a new motorcycle home and get it all sorted out. Give it to Steve Cannon. Here's the replay. NGK replay. Looking back from David McFadden's bike. Oh, this is going to be awesome to see. Watch this. On the gear change, Bang! There goes the engine. Something went wrong. That looks like a conrod or something that's gone wrong there. And unfortunately, big blowout there for Garrick Flock. Let's catch up with him and find out what went wrong.
Down this fast straight, jumping off your bike on flames, what happened?
Oh, well, I came out the last turn, the bike was feeling good, got on the gas, it was pulling, and then heard this grinding noise and that, and it had no power. And then I felt the heat on my legs, looked down and there was fire, so I just tried to slow the bike down, slow enough to jump off, and yeah.
Well, I tell you what, our gymnastic judges scored your dismount a perfect 10. Garrick Flock, crazy. Let's go back to Greg to catch up on the final lap.
Yeah, coming to those last couple of laps here, David McFadden's done it all right into the hairpin. He's given himself a decent enough margin now to control things from the front, and Sella, I don't think is going to even give him any run for his money. It's going to be a double victory for 2020's final race of the NGK SA SBK series for David McFadden. But it, of course, it's still on here for the 600s though. Didn't realize that Bambino had closed up there on Ricardo Otto, and Otto now with some trouble of his own. And there's a good possibility that the King Price R6 might beat up the Otto Racing R6 here into the last point. In fact, look at it, might be formation flying here for King Price. McFadden's about to go across the line. Behind him will be, with 1 lap to go, Clinsella, then Safiso Temba, and then possibly Bambino. It could be an absolutely ideal finishing position here for the King Price team. Safiso Temba leads out the Bridgestone class, so he's looking for his first victory as well. And there's a move from Dino Iozzo, diving on the inside of Otto. So yes, they are timing this to perfection. I wonder if Sella had a word about this and said, listen, we need to do some formation flying here. Keep the sponsors happy for 2021. If that's the case, they've done it to perfection. Here they come. On the inside of Safiso Temba, there's a move. Oh, and around the outside goes Otto. Otto's gone the wrong way. Otto trying to go around the outside of Safiso Temba, and he got it all wrong. There's not enough grip on the outside of that little flick. And Otto comes back on track, but he's unhappy with that. There's no doubt about it. He had a chance maybe of getting back at Dino Iozzo. It didn't quite work out for him. But here we go. It is going to be formation flying. McFadden is going to take a double victory. A good run here from McFlash down in PE. A couple of Ks up the road from his hometown in Cape Town. Sella will take second place. And it's going to be, as I said, brilliant stuff from the 600cc's for King Price Extreme and Sella Racing's Dino Iozzo, and in the Bridgestone Superbike class as well for Safiso Temba. Let's go to the NGK replay there of those two 600s coming up on Temba. We're on board here with Ricardo Otto. You'll see him have to go wide and onto the dirty stuff as he tried to go around the outside of Safiso Temba. Temba did nothing wrong there. He just held his line. Dino Iozzo was very lucky to dive on the inside of his teammate and make that one stick. And there you can see Nsana shouting, oh man, I should have been in the battle. He'll be back, Libabalo and Nsana. We're looking forward to it. There's our 5 motorcycles that finished up. It's David McFadden Sella winning out the 1000cc class. Iozzo beats out Otto for the 600s. And Bridgestone Superbikes goes to Safiso Temba. Let's catch up with McFlash now after his double victory.
Well, you saying all the right things on track. Ran away with that in race 1 and now race 2. Well done.
Yeah, I'm really happy. It was a good race. I mean, first of all, well done to Clinton and his team for winning the championship. And yeah, I mean, I must just say we started the year off, we won the first round, and now we ended the year winning, so I'm really happy. After the previous round, we weren't sure if we were going to carry on due to some injuries, and I must say, first of all, thanks to all my sponsors and everything for keeping me motivated and working with me, and we managed to find the issues, and yeah, we are, so I hope we can carry on next year and be strong again, eh?
Jeez, you look like a demon. I mean, you literally did run away with that. And I thought maybe now that Clinton's wrapped up championship, he's going to want to have a good fight with you. But once you got past him, it was bye-bye.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I got the whole shot again in the second race. He led the first lap, and in the last one, I made a mistake. My foot came off, and he came past. And I must say, he was riding really hard, and it was to pass him, I had to really put it together. But once I got through, I managed to pull a bit of a gap and just manage the race from there. So I'm happy, and yeah, it's good for my sponsors, and we need to be here, and hopefully the series keeps growing and more people come. But yeah, I just want to carry on and keep going.
What do you think of the track's good, eh? Scribante is a great track for a bike.
I enjoy this track. It's nice, it's short, it's not too physically demanding, and it's fast. I mean, what else do you need?
Well, what you need is one of those. You get a nice, put that on mantelpiece. Number 1 from NGK. Great to have our sponsor board looking after you.
Awesome.
Well done. So that's it now. You got one more. You guys are wrapped.
All done. Got to wait for the 2021 season to follow through. But just thank you to everyone on board, all our sponsors, Dragon, Shark, NGK. It's been a really good 2020 year.
Legend. Well done, Dino. Nicely done. Safiso, How's it going, buddy? You're all right.
I'm all right. It was a very, very intense race, and I'm happy to finish. And a couple of guys on the dice, they lost the front, and I hope he's okay. It got me worried there, but it looked okay. And then I'm just happy to finish the season on a high.
But listen, I mean, it's been great racing conditions today. The weather's been good because PE can be hectic with the wind. The weather gods are playing in our favour, so you don't have to worry too much through Hangar and those sort of places. But it's been a great season for you.
Yeah, it's been a great season. Been a great to be with the King Prize, and they've helped me. I mean, today I achieved my best lap and was going faster, and it's been exciting, and I learned a lot for this season.
That is what we want to hear, because 2021 we hope is going to be like the normal good old days of racing with spectators. We've got a nice little gift from you from NGK. Well done. It's just awesome seeing other guys in the paddock work together to help you on your personal journey as well. So well done, Sifiso. Awesome.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you to my sponsors, King Prize, and all the people that supported me. 63 Nation for real.
Confirmation of final result standings in the championship. Sella, McFadden and Flock, your top three. In the 600s, it was Otto from Ayotso and Jared Schultz, and Sifiso Temba taking it overall in the Bridgestone Superbike Championship. All this action from the SA SBK series is proudly brought to you by NGK Spark Plugs, Bridgestone Tyres, and Rapid Bike Tuning.